Going live. First Hangout of 2016. And I already forgot how to get the... I forgot how to get the status bar so that I can send you guys the link. Let's see here. Just gotta be back. Ah, there it is. I found it. I found it! Okay. There you go. It's going to take me a minute to get used to the new Google. Everything's moved. Okay. So now I'm going to sit and make faces until some of you come and join me. And we can hang out and see what you're up to in 2016. There's Ava.
You just woke up your brother, damn it. Sit down.
Hey, girl.
Hi.
Hi. How's the baby?
He's, where'd you go? You disappeared.
I'm still here.
Hold on. There we go. Okay.
Listen to the sultry sound of my voice.
Here we go. I don't know if you can see him. Can you see him? You can probably see his head.
I can see the other one bouncing on the couch behind you too.
Well, yeah, it's Shaun the sheep.
I love it.
Oh, God.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm still tired, but I'm doing all right. I'm trying to get prepared because my husband convinced me to go back to school this semester as opposed to waiting until fall.
Oh, man.
So, I don't know. Don't wake up. I'm going to take that quick sleep.
Hi, Alexandra.
Who else is here? Alex?
Yeah, Alex.
Hey, I'm in the parking lot at the gym. I just checked my phone.
Hi. We'll be on.
Hey.
We'll be on for a little bit. Are you going into the gym or coming out?
Well, I'm just about to go in.
Okay.
But really more to go to the steam room and this sauna today.
That was my kind of gym workout.
Well, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Is there anything I can do for you while you have me on here before you go work out vigorously in the sauna?
Hey, I'm planning a dress burning on Sunday.
I saw something about that. Tell me more.
This is the gal that wanted to burn her wedding gown.
Okay.
And she's now remarried. We didn't do it in the summer because we thought we might catch the forest on fire. But now it's snowing. And I think I'm going to do it in the parking lot in the back. I have a big fire pit rather than going on location.
I like that idea. Safety first.
Any kind of suggestions? I'm doing it on Sunday. I'm going to try to set it up tomorrow to see how it might work. But any suggestions for potential, like,
don't
bad?
Don't set your model on fire. It goes really, really bad after that.
Okay.
Are you trying to set the dress on fire while she's in it?
No.
Okay. So
No.
what's the concept for the shoot?
Well, I was gonna have the dress over the fire pit.
Okay.
And then I was gonna have her shooting like a fire arrow from a bow.
Oh, I love it.
So I gotta secure a bow or maybe make one out of a branch or something. And then possibly add the fire in post.
So, or you could do the actual fire, which is totally fine. And I can speak from personal experience. There is a plethora of videos on how to make flaming arrows.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, on YouTube. We actually did the same thing when we did the burning bridge retreat, only we set the whole bridge on fire on my property. And the only way my husband would let me do it is if him and my brother got to release flaming arrows to set the bridge on fire. So they spent like 5 days learning how to actually create flaming arrows that would stay lit and wouldn't go out once they were fired. But from a photography standpoint, if you just want the shot of her shooting the arrow towards the dress, then you probably don't have to have actual working flaming arrows. So you could probably just dip them in something like, I don't even know if you would need them in lighter fluid or anything because they might burn too quickly that way, but you could probably just wrap the tips of the stick or the arrow, whatever you decide to go with something that will catch fire easily, like maybe like a cheesecloth or a light linen.
Uh-huh.
If the dress is going to be hung over the fire pit and on fire, you might be able to do something really fun with it too, where you could put up like a bigger thing and do sort of like a burning at the stake, like a witch hunt kind of thing. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah. Okay.
So I could totally see her, if you decide not to go with the flaming arrow, I could totally see her in in a very simple dress, more with like a torch, like lighting the stakes on fire for the dress, like burning the witch at the stake, and that would be a really cool shot too.
Mm-hmm.
Safety first, keep water nearby, keep like a hose that's working and a fire extinguisher just in case. Pay attention to your wind. If it's windy that day and where that's at, make sure you have her not in the direction of the wind. No hairspray in her hair. I did that once with a model. It's not good when you catch their hair on fire. Yeah, those are the basics.
Okay.
And then you probably want to wait until you get to like the gloaming hour. So it's going to be really anticlimactic if you shoot it during the day. The closer to night you get, the better you get. If you have flames and you shoot it with flash, then you're going to downplay the flames and they're going to overpower them. So you would want to go to like Home Depot and pick up like the yellow construction lights that you can get for like $30-40.
Mm-hmm.
And they're enough to add extra light if you need it if it's too dark. But they'll be the same kind of color consistency that when you see the photos, provided that the light is coming from the same direction as the fire, it'll look like it's the fire that's lighting her, but it'll just help to amplify so the photos don't get too noisy.
Okay, that was part of my reason for wanting to do it in the back lot, is that I could light her if I need it. I mean, with lights.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so I'll be shopping for some flaming arrows and some kind of cloth
I love it.
here in the next day.
You know
So
what would
thank you.
probably work really well? Gauze.
Yeah.
Non-adhesive gauze, like in a 2 or 3 inch strip, because you could just wrap it. And if it doesn't, get a couple of them and just test it before the shoot, like the day before, and see how quickly it catches. If it doesn't catch quickly, then you could look at spraying just a little bit of like lighter fluid or something else on it to just help it burn. The oil that you put in like oil lamps and stuff, that might work really well too, to keep it burning, because it'll burn like a wick in an oil lamp then.
Oh, good idea.
So I'm excited. I can't wait to see these. 10 points for posting the images.
Okay, you got it.
All right, go work out.
Alrighty, thanks.
All right, bye. All right, so Ava, my love, I'm seeing all these beautiful images on Instagram. Tell me what's going on with you and your work, and you're going back to school.
Yeah. Okay, so basically I got sick and tired of not being able to work. And the plastic that I used for the work that you saw that I did over the summer.
Your mic's breaking up really bad.
Ooh. Is that better?
No, it's super staticky. It was fine when you weren't plugged in.
Okay, hold on a second.
Let's do that and I'll mute. That way it doesn't echo. That's fine, whatever you were just doing.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah,
better
that's
now?
great. Yeah, that's
Okay.
perfect.
All right, so like I said, the plastic that I was using at school that you saw for the in the summer, the pieces I did in the summer, those are polyurethane based, and they're really like industrial strength and hazardous. So I can't use them here in the house. But so that's like the bad thing. But the good thing is that they cure anywhere from 30 seconds to 6 minutes.
Right.
So it's really super quick, and that's why I like using them. So I had to go back to epoxy resin, which takes anywhere from 30 minutes to 6 hours to cure. So
Right.
everything has really slowed down. So I can't really make any sculptures, but since they take so long, they're cooler, so I can start working on the photographic pieces again.
Okay.
But then I was having problems with my computer. Like, none of my software would work. Google wouldn't work. Windows wouldn't work. It like kept authenticating issue drama. So I got frustrated and I just started painting. I was like, okay, well, I can't do photographs and I can't do sculptures. I might as well paint. So that's what I've been doing. I've been painting on canvas, just kind of abstract painting, just so I can get something out, and then experimenting with using the epoxy and the inks with the acrylic paints, because acrylic paints are water-based, and technically you're not supposed to mix water products with any type of polyurethane or resin products, because that's how I create those foams. They interact and don't do happy things. So I started experimenting with that. I start school on Monday. I don't know if I'm going to get a studio, but I will have some space to work, so I'll be able to do my polyurethane stuff again. And I got my computer fixed today, so I can finally start working on my photographs again. And after a really, really long time with my husband discussing things, I don't want to have to choose. I don't want to do photography as a hobby and then do sculpture as my main thing, or vice versa. And I think we had talked about that before. But my husband asked me if that was going to be the case, then what was going to be what molded everything together. And I said that I wanted to do everything with plastic. So all of my, if I'm doing the paintings, or I'm doing the photography, or I'm doing the sculpture, it's all going to be on plastic of some sort, whether it's mylar or liquid polyurethane or resin or whatever. It's all going to be plastic based.
Okay.
So I still want to grow the plants that I want to grow on my sculptures, but that's going to take years for me to perfect. And so I've just decided to dedicate my Patreon just to fund that, because that's a lot of money and time and research. I know that using mylar and transparency films, which are both plastics, I can coat them with epoxy and can use the inks. And have you ever seen those watercolor portraits where it's like it's a person's face and part of them, and then it kind of it turns into abstract color? Or I guess sometimes photographers that use Photoshop, they do it with they call it like the scatter effect or distortion effect, where it starts off as a person and it turns into just like colors. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, but your homework is now to share an image or two in the group so I can see.
Okay. So that has always, that kind of style where it starts off as a recognizable object and turns into something more ethereal and more surreal, is what I've always liked in my work, that ability to make something surreal. Even with what Why are you freezing? Oh, I'm no longer freezing? I'm sorry. Mac wrote
Oh
no
no,
longer
I
freezing, and I got confused.
no, I want a hoodie on, so I'm
Oh,
no
you're no longer freezing. Okay.
longer.
I'm like, wait, what? Um, so even with my work with the white lights and the high key photography, I liked the fact that the people kind of faded into the white. They started to come apart because of the lighting technique that I was using. And so I want to continue with that. But I'm in school, and honestly, the way we had our things set up, we were looking at it as me starting my business and learning more about business now, with like learning about shipping and commissions and whatnot. And I'm not there.
Okay.
I'm still, because I'm just doing so much in so many different areas. That's not something that I can really devote the research to right now without taking away from something else.
No, I think
Um,
that's fine. I think it's good that you know where you're at. We can do one of two things. Either we can amend your custom sphere,
mhm.
and find some other things for you to do, or you can just do the levels that are actually listed in Sphere 1 when you log into the Arcanum, and you can still move forward with that. I would love you to stay and hang out in Sphere 2 with me so that we can keep growing it, but I'm
Yeah,
totally fine with you focusing solely on the artistry right now. And when you have enough stuff to put together to start looking at business, then we'll start doing that. But girlfriend, the work that you're doing, I've never seen anybody else do anything like it. It's going to be a piece cake to market because there's nowhere else for them to get it. You have the monopoly on it. They're just going to be like, I don't know what this shit is, but I need it on my table, on my wall, right now.
well, that was actually one of the questions that I have, because even though I don't really want to get into a big business portion right now, oh, I see him. He's drinking cup too, and I love your mug, by the way, Jess. That is just yes, that's just amazing. But I do have people who are asking me to quote them for work. So like I had a friend of mine in Australia, he wanted me to give him a custom cell phone case. He sent me a clear plastic cell phone case for his phone.
Hmm.
He paid for the shipping. He's prepaid for the shipping to go back. And he told me whatever I want to charge him for his time, as long as it's not crazy. And by him, crazy is several $100s for a cell phone case. He'd pay it. I just need to tell him what my price is. But because I'm sorry, because since I don't have a business makeup, I don't even have a skeleton of one. I don't know what to do in this case, because I don't want to turn him down. He already sent me the cell phone case. But at the same time, I don't want to start taking commissions from everybody, because I'm not there. I'm not.
You're not there, or you're not there for the price. Everybody's there for the right price. If I was going to offer you $4,000 for a cell phone case, I feel like you would find the time.
Well, but I'm saying I'm willing to do it because it's him and it's one person that I'm close to. I'm not, especially with me going back to school full time, I'm not going to be able to do schoolwork and flush out what I'm doing here and actually do business. So,
Well, okay, I think there's a couple of things. One, you're extremely busy. You have been since we started, and now
yeah.
you added another kid to the mix because you're a glutton for punishment. And you're like, I know what I'll do with all my not free time. I'll have a baby. That ought to free some stuff up. So that was bad planning on your part, but he's so cute. We're gonna let it slide. Um, so I think that you're definitely one, your style of artistry and what you're doing and the amount of time that you put into it, you cannot run that as anything except for a high-end boutique style business, which
Yeah.
is high price, low volume. And I think that's going to be the case, period, just because of the sheer amount of time and energy that you put into your work and the expense of the materials. It's just going to have to be how your business is structured or you'll
Yeah.
never be able to make a profit because you just won't physically have enough hours in the day to create it.
Yes.
That said, building up your commission mark is a good thing. So if this is a friend of yours and he sent it and you're going to do it, I'm totally okay with you looking at whatever the materials are that you're going to use for it, and then I would just charge him double or triple. So if
Okay.
it's, you know, if it's going to be $50 and whatever the materials are that you're going to use to create it for him, charge him 150, you know,
Okay.
or charge him 100, you know, to cover your materials and put the same amount in your pocket. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that you can't put it on your website or out there as what something like that will cost. Just because he gets like a buddy discount because he's a friend of yours is fine. But I would absolutely list it on my site or online and go, you know, yes, I custom design cell phone cases. They're $400 a piece. You know,
Yeah.
whatever that number is that makes it worth it, that if somebody messages you, you're like, yeah, you know what, I'll find time.
Exactly. Okay. Because like I said, I definitely want to get into the business, just not now. I need to flush this out first a little bit more, and I am trying to slow down because I realize that one of my big problems is overtaxing myself, and I don't want to do that anymore. I definitely want to find a good balance for things. So
I just keep laughing at your son because I just keep seeing him bounce in and out of the screen behind you. So I'm paying attention. He just keeps like hopping into the corner of your view.
It's okay.
I love it.
Yeah, so I mean that's just kind of that's where I do still want to do. I know one of the things you had me was to do the product photography for my pieces. I still want to do that, so I want to keep that one. I don't want to change that one. And when I do the final BFA show, or exam, I should say, not my BFA show, but my BFA exam, which is in March, that should be when I have enough pieces to show for level 19. So that was supposed to be 18 and 19, I think. It's just 16 and 17 were the ones where I was supposed to be looking for business and shipping and whatnot.
Skip them.
So.
Skip them.
Huh.
I'm fine with that. I would just at that point I would just drop them entirely. If they're not suiting you, don't do them.
Okay.
And I would, let's say your new level 16 is creating a cell phone case.
Okay.
And your new level 17 is figuring out at what price does it become profitable for you, not only in money, but in making the time for you to take the time to do it again if somebody else wants it. And what did it cost you? I think that would be a great experience because that's a really small thing. Like a cell phone case is a relatively small piece of art that might actually be a really interesting little niche for you to get into with the creativity. I would love, from a mom point of view and from a photographer point of view, to send you a clear cell phone case and have you be able to take a picture that matters to me and build that into one of your art pieces. I think that would be fucking awesome. This is recorded. I shouldn't first, but that's how excited I am about it.
So yeah, the only other thing besides cell phone cases and then my regular stuff is I found a company that that makes plastic shower curtains that you can draw on, and then the drawings stay. So I've been in negotiation with the company to see if they will send me the shower curtains without the grommets, and actually like send me like sheets, not so that I can make not custom shower curtains, but I can use that fabric to make custom art pieces where I can take photography and I can take the epoxy and I can mold it to it, but they'll still be transparent when they're done.
Nice. I like it. I approve.
Yay. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's totally up to you. You can customize the levels. You can swap them out very easily and just do what the general recommended Arcanum levels are.
Hmm.
Um,
No, I like your levels better.
I do too, but like you don't have to do it with all of them. Like you can skip levels 16 and 17 in your custom one because you don't want to get into all the research right now, and you can do the Arcanum 16 and 17 and then do your custom 18, 19, and 20. But if you're looking for a custom one, I think the cell phone's very easy. I'm totally up for recommendations on what you would like to do for your levels.
No, actually, the level 16, that sounds good because
Okay.
I'm working on something that's small and detailed is not as easy as people think. And so that would be a really good experience. And I like the idea of doing a little bit of research on the commissions for something small like that because it is small and it is something that can still be unique and custom and functional, which a lot of my art isn't functional.
Hmm.
So I'm no, I'm cool with that.
Okay.
If I hit a an immovable object, I'll let you know.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Alright.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Bruce. Hi, Mac.
Hello.
Bruce, you can unmute. You were just like moving things around and we were just hearing a lot of feedback. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Good. Lovely sunny day. About 30 degrees today. Um, Finally get to say hello at a time
Hi.
that I can make it.
We're never on at the same time. I'm glad we're getting to hang out. How are you? What's new in the wonderful world of Chris?
Ooh, no, new toys. So, I had picked up a new car, new lens, playing out in my studio, having fun.
Good.
Life is good.
How are you feeling about Sphere 2?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Level 22 took time, but that was bound to happen. Got caught up in the in my other job as well. So that's sort of like around the November period is a bit of a death period for that job. But other than that, really good. It was a good level.
Are you
A lot of good
feeling
work.
are you feeling encouraged by all the research you did, or is it discouraging? How are you feeling after that? Are you
No,
intimidated?
no. Actually, a lot of it. So looking through a lot of that research and trying to get an idea of what people are charging or what I was putting my shoes in, what would a normal client or what would if I was looking for a wedding photographer right now, what am I getting? What am I getting? What's put in front of me? And I think I explained it as a confusagopoly.
I
It's
love
sort of
that
like
word. I'm adopting it.
it's Scott Adams, gotta love him. But it's a bit like that. It's quite like try to work out what you would pay for what you're going to get. You try to compare it to other people. It's like having a health fund. It's like trying to choose a health fund, which I've been putting off for. My wife says almost a year now, trying to switch.
Nice.
So
That's
no, it's
awesome.
good. So a lot of the hangouts that I saw you do, were talking about trying to simplify things, ripping up half of it, ripping up half the material, trying to really cull it down and keep it simple. Came through in that.
It's hard to do. It was really hard for me.
I can imagine it's like if I had more time, I'd write a shorter letter. Everything you want to kind of give everything. But I guess really what you want to do is just grab their attention and hope that they come and ask you questions, and then you
Yeah.
can give them more information.
Well, it's the other thing that you don't want to do in the way that it was put to be by my mentor when I was doing weddings. He said he took my whole thing and he looked at it and he tore everything off but the last page. And I had spent so much money on them and he's like, this is all useless. And the last page was completely personal and it didn't have anything to do with weddings. It actually talked about my grandmother's wedding portrait and it had a picture of it and um, it was just like backstory. Like I had written a little blurb about the fact that this was my absolute favorite portrait. I thought she looked like a Hollywood starlet in it, and I took the time to digitalize all of her photos and create a slideshow, and my daughter was sitting and watching it with her, so it's 4 generations. And when it got to that photo, because the veils were all on these like full crowns at the time period, that was the fashion, she said, "Oh, Gigi, Ma, I didn't know you were a princess." And then the next shot was my grandfather, who had passed away a year or two before, and she said, "Oh, and Gigi Pop looks like Prince Charming." And my grandmother started crying, and then Katie got upset because she thought she said something that upset her and was making her cry, and she's like, "He was Prince Charming," and you know, it was like really, really sweet and really cute. But my whole thing was that, that's the most important photo. If I had to pick one photo, that was the photo. I loved it so much that I put it in my boudoir book. And dedicated it to her. And so when I'm taking pictures of wedding photography, I'm not taking pictures for the day. I'm taking pictures for your great-grandchildren, and what that photo means 50, 75 years from now. That's my purpose. That's what I do it for. And that was the only thing that was of any value. He said the first 7 pages with all my products and my services and the prices and the different collections you could buy was basically just a learning manual for my competition.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and I was like, that was a $500 learning manual to give my competitors the edge. That was stupid. So he's like, yeah, I wouldn't give him anything but this. So it was an expensive lesson, but it was a really good one. And it made a lot of sense. So I listened to that, and instead of sitting down and going, we offer all day coverage and we do these kind of products and yada, 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 I started just telling stories. Like, I started picking not necessarily my best images, which are also amazing to have and show off your skill, but I started picking the ones that I could tell a story that would make the bride cry. Because if I can make her cry about some stranger's wedding, I know I've got them on the hook when it's their photos and their kids and their kind of thing. So, emotion trumps logic when important decisions are being made. And logic is going, you're not worth $8,000. That's 4 mortgage payments, if not more. And I'm not going to spend that on a vendor for a single day. The emotional side goes, oh my God, someday I'm going to be a great-grandparent. Someday I'm not even going to be here, and the only way anybody's ever going to know me is through these photos, and I need them to be the most beautiful heirlooms that they could possibly be, because this is the first one that's ever going to be created for our family. What is that value to you? Oh, okay, here's your check.
Damn you, now I've got to go redo everything.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's good, it's good to be redoing it like while you're in the process. I'm of both minds. I'm a big believer that you should have some kind of price, because honestly, if I'm looking for something and I'm on a website and there's no pricing info for the service or the product, I go to the next guy. Like, I want to have some idea. I do not buy off on that. Get them in and then you can sell them. Like, people need to know. The bottom line is that if somebody is on a fixed income and living in an apartment in the dodgy end of town, they're not spending $10,000 on their wedding photography. They're just not. And it's not because they don't value you or because you haven't had a chance to sell them. It's because they can't afford it.
And I had that.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I've had that experience at wedding fair, or like the first wedding fair that I did, where people were like, oh my God, you're the only one here that's actually showed us price. It was like, sort of like, so, and I know plenty of friends and family that sort of they do the same thing. They just skip over if they don't even have a baseline of something to compare it to.
Yes.
They'll just walk away.
So my general theory is that you have the starting price so they know the minimum that they're investing, so they can have that number in their head, and then you also give them an average and what most people pay. So it's very easy to go, our coverage starts at $2,500 and our collections range up to $15,000, but our average client spends $8,000 to $12,000. That was mine. Like, I had it in their head that they were spending at minimum, they were going to spend at least $4,500. If they got coverage for the day and Disca images, it was $4,500. But the average client was investing $8,000 to $12,000. So they have that range in their head, and they'd be like, oh, and most of them would come in and go, we're just going to go do the $4,000 one. And that's when your work makes the argument for you. When your pictures are good enough and you go, okay, well, you can do that. If you really don't want these extra spreads, if you really don't want the full-length movie now that you've seen it, you know, and I'll actually take the time if I know I have good stuff to go ahead and put it together. Like, I've had a bunch of clients that were like, we don't want video at all, and we always shoot it on the day of because then we have it. And I'll put together like a 2 to 5 minute teaser and run it, and I'll be like, you know, we have enough footage to do a 15 to 25 minute video of you, but if you really don't want it, that's totally fine. And they're like, well, maybe now that I know, you know. So it's just a matter, and it really doesn't take me that long to put together a couple of minutes to sort of whet the appetite, so to say. Same thing with images. If I was doing, I just have a base price for albums in general, but if I was charging per spread, I would absolutely design 25 spreads for a 20-page album and ask them which ones they wanted to get rid of, or if they'd like to just add them on for an extra $50 a spread or $100, whatever the price is.
Yeah. And I had some friends with a high-end Sydney photographer, and they hadn't even ordered an album, but they just went in for the viewing and just and it was like, oh, here is your album, and it's like this big. I think it must have had something close to 50 spreads.
Nice.
And and it was one of those ones where he could remove the images if they decided not to go with them and stuff like that, because they're all sort of like printed and matted with that slide in between. And I was like, here you go, you can have it if you want, it's there, or you can not. And they were like, well, how much? Like, it doesn't even matter. They're buying it anyway.
Yeah.
And they were like,
there's a couple of different ways to do it. Do you, with albums, do you do it by spread, or how are you pricing that?
Usually I've got a base level, and then they can buy additional spreads.
Okay. I gotcha. I don't like doing that because then it requires you to upsell all the time. So I always look at my prices for the most expensive option and just price there, and then they're pleasantly surprised. Because if I come in and go, okay, I'd like an album with you, and you're like, okay, the base album is 20 spreads, I assume that if I want 5 more spreads or 5 more images, that I'm going to pay more money. And I assume that if I decide that I want the leather cover, that it's going to be more money. So when I went through, I went and looked at what the albums cost me to make, if it was the most expensive options with the most spreads possible and the best page quality and thicker pages. I was like, what is the biggest F-off album that I can possibly buy? That is what I called Fineo and asked. I was like, if I was getting the best of the best cover, most expensive, everything, how much does that cost me? And then I just took that price and tripled it, and that was the cost of my albums. So people can get any size that they want. They can get any number of images and pages that they want. They can get whatever cover they want, and the price doesn't change, and that's so refreshing to them after they just sat down with 4 other photographers that were like, oh, the spreads can be added for $50. I'm like, you can just have them. It doesn't cost you a thing. You know,
it's going to be a ridiculously large number, but I can do that. I can look at that.
It is a large number. I mean, you can control it and decide. You know, like my albums, they're investing like $3,500 in an album. It's not cheap. But at the same time, what that does, and you can do it in a smaller version or do a couple of smaller options. So maybe you offer 3 album sizes, and maybe you pay attention to the fact that, you know, your 8x8 album comes with 25 spreads max, and your 10x10 comes with 35, and the 12x12 comes with 50. You know, like, you can decide what you want to do, or you can just price the sizes for it. But really, like, the size of the album isn't that dramatically different. That doesn't affect the cost as much as the spreads do. So it's more of a spread thing. But if you just had an album that you went through and it was like 15 to 20 spreads is usually what's included with most of the album companies I've looked at. So if it was like 20 spreads, 35 and 50, and then you just priced it for the most expensive options as far as the page and the cover and those kind of things, then you could price it for the biggest album at 20 spreads that you can get with all the best, and the biggest one at 35 and the biggest one at 50. And what that does is it keeps them from right side menu shopping. So like we do that all the time. Like we go into the restaurant and we're like, ooh, lobster. What is the market value? Never mind, I'll have chicken. And it's because you you look at that price tag and you decide it's not worth having what you actually want because of the price. So you're constantly weighing the value of it. So it's actually really refreshing for them to just be able to go, I don't have to worry about whether it's worth the upgrade for the cost. I can just get what I want, So, and the less decisions they have to make, especially when you're asking them to balance, the right side brain, which goes, love, creativity, pretty, I just want to touch it. And the right side that's like, how much does this cost and how does that compute and what is the value over time kind of thing. So you have like the two sides kind of warring with each other, which is never good. So food for thought while you're doing pricing.
No, I got more work to do. That's okay.
You're like, I'm never getting on a hangout with you again.
No, it's good. It's good, always. Yeah, so that's okay. Well, I'm shooting an engagement party tonight for a couple of hours, so while those images are being uploaded into Lightroom and rendering and backing up and all that, I can get to work.
Nice. What time is it there right now? It's like early day.
1 p.m.
Oh, you're so ahead of the times.
I know, and it's only 25 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is Fahrenheit. Rubbish. At the conversion.
What that is in rubbish? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Rubbish at the conversion, but sort of like, yeah. It's warm. It's a nice warm day.
Shut up.
Yeah, not to rub it in.
It's 36 degrees here right now, which would be approximately 0 degrees. Maybe 4. I think it's like 4 degrees Celsius.
Wow. Yeah. I got about 6 months before I head there.
Shut up. Deducting karma points, you're fired.
That's okay, I got lots of them. I haven't been able to do Hangout, so they've just been accumulating.
Nice, that's good.
I can waste hours.
Well, good. Since you're being a smartass about it, I'm going to deduct you down to 20 points.
Okay, I'll update the spreadsheet.
It's not fun when you're cheerful about it.
Gotta be cheerful.
You're like, my son did that for like 2 years. I didn't want to ground him about anything because anytime he was upset, he would put himself in timeout, and it totally stole my thunder. And then I didn't want to put him in timeout because he was already on the step. He's like,
yeah,
and he was happy about it.
I told Dean that he lost a chapter this morning, and he was like, oh, sorry, a chapter of his book. He's like, okay. What else can I take away? That's obviously not hurting.
Nice. So, alrighty. What else?
I'm good.
All right. Well, now that Chris is so smart ass, we'll just end the hangout because I don't want to hang out with them anymore.
Sorry.
No,
I will say Mackenzie's hair is amazing. I've been looking at her amazing hair the whole time. She looks like she's in one of those glamour shots. She's just the glamour shot model right there with the hair.
Listen, the only reason my hair is done right now is because I actually went to school today and we had pictures. If that wasn't a thing, this wouldn't be a thing.
She's not allowed to cut it until after we do our shoots. So
I mean, I cut 4 inches off a couple weeks ago, but it was dead.
yeah, we allowed it. It's all right. I'm gonna get some.
Well, that's okay. You're telling Alexandra, don't catch people on fire.
Yeah, I thought you'd appreciate that. I was happy that you were in here for this conversation.
I see how it is.
I'm not going to catch you on fire. I'm just going to set the dress on fire while you're wearing it. I think I'm going to stream that live for the Arcanum. I feel like they would like to watch you catch fire.
Definitely. Definitely.
Maybe I'll make it an Arcanum event. Maybe I'll invite everyone down for that one. Would you like to come down and watch me set one of the apprentices on fire? That'll be the coolest video in the library.
Fire.
What can you expect when joining J. Lark's cohort at the Arcanum? She will set you on fire.
You'll lose your eyebrows.
Yep. That's going to trump it.
No. These are precious. It's okay. They'll be back in like a week. I get them done every 2 weeks. That's how quickly they grow in. Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, good. See? Then no worries. We're fine.
The caterpillars still live on my face.
That'll be good. It'll give a whole new definition to you're fired. I like it.
Well, Shaun the Sheep is almost over, so I do have to get off the Hangout.
All right. Me as well. I'm going to take Chris. So, Chris, good post. I'm going to apply for that that residency.
I totally would have done it if, like, if I didn't have to get there myself.
Yeah.
Or if I thought there was a hope in hell, I could actually leave Sam with the kids for 23 days plus travel to get there.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to go, but I'm excited about it. Mackenzie might just move in over the summer.
Yeah, like, here's the thing, like, yes, I was thinking about this. You're like, yeah, like, I dealt with on a year, Mike can deal with on a month, which is true. He's a very good father and could do that, except that he works an hour and a half away and is there for, like, 40 days at a time.
Yeah, but most of that is voluntary. He could do it, and he could save up leave, and I'll just hire you and Sienna to come.
When you're home all day.
Yeah.
Mackenzie, you'd make a perfect au pair. You do really well.
Yes, except, listen, this whole thing she wants to do is the middle of the summer, which also means that I'm not around. We always run into this issue because I hang out in the beginning of summer, and then I'm gone for 5 weeks.
Yeah, but I'm letting you know now so I can have priority.
Well, I'm pretty sure Turks and Caicos has priority at this point.
Well, yeah, I'll get Sienna to come that week.
Small details.
It's all Chris's fault. Take it up with him. He's the one that posted the link.
We'll see.
Well,
I don't
night.
physically
All right, good
be
night,
away
Ava.
from the internet for 23 days.
Say that again?
I don't know if you can deal with being away from the internet for 23 days.
I gotta tell you, the fact that there's no internet or phone. Okay, so on the standpoint of being a mom and a wife,
Yes, that's what I'm talking
it
about.
concerns me to not be able to and not have other people be able to get a hold of me in case of an emergency. That freaks me out. But on a total personal standpoint, if I knew for a fact that everybody was fine and they'd all be alive and well by the time I got back, I think it'll be really unnerving to be alone at sea for essentially a month with no communication to the outside world. It's like being in a sensory deprivation tank.
Yes, wait. And you want to leave me with your children for 23 days. I feel like something would go wrong.
No. I mean...
Yes,
Well, like, it'd be, like, I'd take good care of them, but I feel like someone would get hurt and I'd be like, oh, I can't drive you anywhere or something. Like, I feel like there'd be an issue somewhere.
No, it'll be fine. What were you going to say, Chris?
I have full confidence that you would be convincing the captain that the radio was yours, needed to be moved to your room, and that he had to ask permission to be able to take it away from you. So, and you'd work out some way of being able to communicate with the outside world and give us all hell.
Well, I'm sure if there's like an actual emergency in this day and age with technology, there has to be a way for them to like get in touch if there's something important. Because Katie said that too. She's like, what happens if you get hurt really bad? And I was like, I really don't know. Like, if it takes 23 days to take a barge from one end to the other of the ocean, like, what if somebody really does get hurt? Like, can they fly a helicopter halfway out the ocean? Like, how do they fix that? I don't know. So
you in the ocean and you die.
Apparently. But
I'll
on
have
the
to do
other,
an impression of you for Chris. This is
Yeah.
Jess. Hello, you're hot. I want to take pictures of you. Here's my business card. And they just follow her.
I didn't give him a business card. I wrote it on my son's Star Wars notebook. In history of Darth Vader.
I'm expecting your application or your project would just be Sailor Doudoir.
Sailor Doudoir. I love it. It's awesome.
And you get to Shanghai, having no internet connection for that long, and you'd just be like, you'd fill the internet uploading Sailor Doudoir. On like Google Plus, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere, Instagram, you just fill the internet.
That would be
That's
awesome.
almost
I could
as
totally
good as
do
the
that.
Bug Boudoir. We're still bringing Bug Boudoir back.
I like it. No, I think it'd be really interesting. It's there's something very appealing about completely disconnecting from everything and everyone and being alone. I think that would either breed a masterpiece or madness, one of the two. Probably
You don't have
both.
Pinterest. You don't have Pinterest. You can't look at pretty things when you write in Western Europe.
Well, I thought about, oh yeah, I did think about that. Like, I would have to have a serious music library because I wouldn't be able to, like, stream music or anything. Like, I didn't realize, like, until I started thinking about it, like, I wouldn't have any of my research. I wouldn't be able to get online and look at anything, like, that I have pinned or anywhere. I would have to have, like, I don't even know if I'll have power. Like, will I be able to plug in my computer?
Yeah, it said that there's power on it.
Yeah.
You have no candles.
Yeah, I guess you can't go around setting the boat on fire either. I'll get, like, the battery-operated ones.
Okay, well,
That'll be a
I've got
whole
to go.
suitcase. Say that again?
Yes.
I've got to head off.
Okay, bye, Chris. I'm glad we caught up for a minute.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Okay. Sounds good.
I don't know how long I'm going to be here, so hello.
Hi, Bruce. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
Where are you?
driving between Ottawa and Montreal, but I wanted to jump in.
What are you doing?
Oh, I actually share my dogs with my ex, and I picked them up, and I have them in the car with me.
You have joint custody of your dogs?
Yes.
That's kind of sad, but also really adorable.
Yeah, joint custody of the dogs. She has them most of the time, and I take them for a couple of weeks every 6 weeks or so.
I love it. That's really cute.
Yeah, so I've got 2 giant dogs in my car with me. Hey, Al.
How you doing?
How are you? How's everything in the world of Bruce?
Not too bad. I'm all shooting all the time these days. When I got into the Christmas break, and then we get a couple of weeks in January before classes started, I scheduled 30 hours of studio time.
Well, we'd never know that because you don't share anything anymore.
Well, I haven't had a chance to edit most of it, but I'll be back. Actually, I'm going to be talking to you, Jess, because I think what I need to do is skip right to 19 and finish.
Okay.
Because I really think that the stuff that's in 17 and 18, I think I've pretty much covered it.
Okay.
We can talk later about it, but I'd like to skip to the I'm going to say thesis defense. I'd like to skip to the critique.
Okay. I'm fine with that. You've been on a custom sphere and you've been doing plenty of work, and I've seen a ton of growth. So now that they did the new rollout, all you got to do is go in and click that you're done that level, and then I can level you up, because I actually can't level you guys up anymore until you request it.
Right. So I can just click in and say, yeah, I've done it. I don't need to. I thought that you had to enter in evidence or something.
No, I mean, you can, and I can require it, so maybe I'll do that just to be a dick to you.
Okay.
No, but yours are special anyway, because you guys have the custom maps, and I can't create a custom level for each individual in the foundation spheres. So the stuff at like level 17 won't match what you're doing anyway, because you have a personal thing. So just go and click yes, it's done. And then I click OK, it's done, and then you get leveled up. So it's a little wonky, and we fudge it in the system to move you up.
Sounds good. I'm feeling like without actually doing it in the formal way. I really feel like like the stuff that was intended to help me to do, it helped me to do.
Well, good. We'll bring you right to level 19 critique, and then I'll be the judge of that.
That's right. And I think you're gonna like a couple of the things I've done recently. Once I edit them up, I think you're gonna like them.
Good. I'm excited.
We all want to see it, though.
Yeah, you'll see this. You'll see some stuff soon.
He's gonna post it in the group. I'm not gonna schedule his 19 critique until I see some new stuff from him.
Unfortunately, I had a friend who had a stroke a couple of weeks ago, and I've been all the time in the hospital with him, so it's slowing me down a bit in terms of getting stuff turned around.
Well, that's okay. I've always been fine with you guys working at your own pace. I'm just excited to hear you have new work. I just want to see what you're up to.
So I've got all kinds of new stuff to show. Yeah.
Good. Awesome.
So it'll be coming in a short while.
Okay. Yeah, just go in and request a level up, and I get a little notification to go move you up, and then you just go to Calendly and set up whatever time works for you for critique.
Sounds good. It'll probably be a couple of weeks from now.
That's fine. No worries.
But what I'll do is I'll get up to 19, and then I'll plug all kinds of stuff in there. Is it 18 where we show our stuff, or is it 19?
19.
19. So I'll get you to bump me to 19, and then I'll just create an album and show off 20 amazing things.
Okay, sounds good.
So I have to log off because this is costing me too much bandwidth on my phone.
Okay, sounds good. I'll talk to you soon. I'm glad we said hello.
And hi,
Later,
Mac.
Bruce.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Al, how are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm good. You're coming in at the end. I'm gonna cut it off in about 10 minutes, so you have my undivided attention right now. What can I do for you?
Oh, well, I'm just happy that I got to catch the end of it, if anything. I haven't talked to you in a while. Been working really, really hard. Had a unfortunate large break from my real job, so I've been focusing a lot on regrouping and figuring what I want to do with my photography business.
Okay.
And with help from Ria, I've really nailed it down, and I'm really focusing on what I want to do. And then a gentleman that is his son goes to my stepdaughter's school, was talking with Ria, and he's kind of like I don't know, like a life coach or something, but he's very into NLP, neuro-linguistic programming.
Okay.
And he's unbelievably good at helping people, and he has a lot of clients that he's helping them through personal issues with their appearance and personal issues with their lives and stuff. And he saw that I've been sort of focusing on transformational photography, and that all came about when we were talking about how because I'm focused on the nude boudoir side of things, I've been getting a lot of responses from my clients saying, that they had no idea that they were that beautiful, or that they really feel empowered, and all those beautiful feelings that they get from being able to get through something like that and see the successful outcome on the other side. And so I started going down this road of transformational photography, about how it's more than just somebody taking your pictures. And he saw that, and he just took it and went and ran with it, and he's all excited about it. And we're going to work together, and he's going to use my services to help some of his clients through some of their personal issues with their bodies and things like that.
Nice.
So it's actually really very exciting, and I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen in the very near future. He's just like a major go-getter, and he's full of ideas, and he's really passionate about everything, and he could see how passionate I am about everything. So it's been quite a match made in heaven. So
That's awesome. Good to hear. Isn't it the best when you get those kind of comments from your clients too? That always makes me so happy.
That's why I do it, really. I mean, I love creating art, but when somebody comes back and goes, oh my God, like you made me feel so beautiful, thank you, and stuff, stuff like that. You've probably heard it so much, and you sit back and you go, wow, that just really melted my heart.
Yeah.
So that's cool, yeah. And so I just, as you know, I just finished my new website. Got a few new changes that I'm going to do to it based on some conversations with this gentleman. But I'm pretty excited about it. I've got some really good feedback so far. I got really great feedback from the cohort, which is awesome.
Good.
They helped me through a lot of different things that I didn't even see. And as soon as I read to Rhea what they were saying, she's like, "Yeah, I was wondering about that." So yeah, I'm happy. I'm excited.
Good. Good. That's a very good place to be in.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you're doing right now that I can help with specifically?
Other than no, actually, because you helped me so much the last time we talked. I still have a lot of stuff to get through in order to get there.
That's good.
Yeah, and I was, I'm thinking about one of the things that I really want to do. Oh, I'll tell you about this. Okay, so Rhea and I were talking about this concept of transformational photography, and I was thinking about it. Kind of all brewed up together into this concept. We're gonna do you know what crowdfunding is? You probably do, right? So
Yeah.
I was thinking of doing a crowdfunding campaign to produce a coffee table book, but it's not just the concept of the book and having the book as a final product. It's about the process, and it's called As You See Me. And so the thought is, we get a couple, and just for conversation, I'll use male and female, but it could be anything, right? It could be male, male, female, female, whatever. But the thought would be, we would interview the male and ask him what is it about his girl that he loves the most, whether it be, a specific part of her body or whatever about her personality, whatever. And then we would ask the female and keep them separate. We would ask the female what personal things about her body she doesn't like. And then we would do a photo shoot with them, and I would accent the things that the husband or boyfriend or whatever really finds like the most appealing about her. And then in the book, we would have the stories along with a few of the shots from the shoot to show.
I love that.
Isn't that cool? Like,
I love
gives
that.
me goosebumps, right?
Yeah, I love it. I think
Yeah.
there's the potential for a coffee table book, but I absolutely think there's also the potential to make it a social media thing like Humans in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And just have it be a continuing, ongoing thing that you would be able to open up into gallery shows. And yeah, like the potential for that in terms of social media marketing and financial gain is monumental. And I think you'd have a piece of cake Kickstarter funding it as well, especially as the book. So you could probably do it and build your following on social media. And do little pieces, and then when you have enough of it, put the collection together as a book, and then you'd already have the following for it with all the people that have been following the process. That would probably be the smartest way to go around it. But when we did the book for, we did the limited edition of the hardcover, and I wanted this one instead of the paperback. We raised something like $7,500 in like 12 days on Kickstarter for it, and it was all pre-sales of the book, which was awesome because then they were out of the studio. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing idea. That would be a killer project for you for Sphere 2, is like the beginning to the end of that.
Yeah, okay.
I love it. I love it. 10 karma points. I love it.
Woohoo!
I love it. That's a great idea.
Awesome. So other than that, yeah, any advice maybe along the way that I can glean from you on that would be great. But that's kind of what's occupying a lot of my time right now, and I'm excited.
I love it. I think as far as that project goes, if I was gonna undertake that, which I totally would, because I think it's an amazing project, I would put it together and I would shoot probably at least, say, 60 couples, because it doesn't have to be like full-on shoots either. Like you can have a couple of couples that are like your really die-hard stories that you know are going to pull on the heartstrings, but you can also just have it be a very short thing like Humans in New York, where like you just go up to people and are like, what do you really love about her the most? This. and this, and what do you hate about yourself? And you're going to be so surprised how often those two are going to echo each other. I really hate my hips. Oh my God, I love her hips.
Yeah.
So it would be really interesting to just take a couple of shots, even like street photography style, like just with people that you meet, and then share them on social media. And it's the kind of thing I've been noticing. I've been paying a lot of attention lately to social media. People are more likely to follow an idea than they are a person.
Ah.
You know, so following, you know, like J. Lark photography, people will be less inclined to go, yes, I will follow Jessica Lark, the photographer, than they would be to follow, you know, like images of beauty or how you see me, like that kind of thing. They'll be less inclined to follow your fan page as a personal photographer than they would be to follow how you see me, which, by the way, if that's the title of it and you're settled on it, which I think is a good name, go reserve it everywhere now. Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook. Like, even if you don't do anything with it for the next 6 months, just have the name so that you have the address everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that, being an IT guy and all.
Yeah, just go get it everywhere. And then I would put probably 60 images together before I would share any of them. That way you could actually structure them out to post one a day for the next 2 months, and you would have a lead out time to keep shooting new work.
Yeah.
You should make it like a 365 project. That'd be a really good one. You're only a couple days behind.
Right. That's cool.
So, all right, that's all for me. I gotta run and put my minions to bed.
Thanks so much for sharing the time and being there for us.
No, I'm glad I got to hang out with you. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Good. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye, Mackenzie.
Bye.